Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello, and welcome back to another podcast. I'm still clearing my throat. I swear I'm getting rid of this sinus infection that I had. It's just still lingering on. Same for Landon. It's weird. Okay. Today I wanted to talk about fall decorating. And I wanted to talk about 10 fall items that you should be buying. 10 items that you should be buying in your thrift stores or at yard sales or estate sales if you still have them going on, that will help you decorate for fall. So I love fall. It's just my favorite. It's just so good for so many reasons. The weather, obviously, number one, hands down. The colors. I really wish fall could be here for a lot longer than it is. I would just be so happy. It's just the best time of year. I do not go all out and decorate for fall. When the kids were little, I used to decorate for everything. Like the leprechauns would show up on St. Patty's Day, and they would play tricks in the house, and like every little Valentine's Day, Easter, all the things. I used to decorate everything, but I change things up usually in the fall, the spring, and then obviously at Christmas now. But there's definitely some things that you don't have to buy anything new to, welcome a new season or to kind of change things up in your house for a new season. But there's definitely some things to look for at a thrift store or yard sale or estate sale. And these may be things that you already have on hand, but just bringing them out or just, setting them in a different way or something will just kind of changes the vibe and just kind of makes the house a little bit more cozy. To just welcome and like embrace this season because it's the best season of all. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But so one of the first things that you should look out for, or if you've got it, are baskets. Now, and don't just think baskets, they come in so many shapes, sizes, looks, colors, functions. Like there's so many baskets. And think about baskets that you can add to a gallery wall, or you could take off, maybe you've got some spring, flower photos or something on your wall, or something that's really colorful or something. Throw up a flat basket, up on that wall during the fall months, or put a hanging basket on your door, and you can fill it with different fall things. Go to your backyard, get some, stems and some dried hydrangeas or, whatever you have in your yard. But baskets and it's not even just baskets. Like baskets you should be picking up all the time at thrift stores. If you can find some antique baskets, I have found the most amazing baskets at thrift stores. They're just amazing all year round, but it's just the color. Like if you got the wicker, the browns, the texture, it just screams fall. And so if you can incorporate those in different ways, I have baskets in our home that I put, blankets in. And so in the fall, plaid throws, vintage, wool plaid throws are amazing to put in them. That is something you should also look for in thrift stores if you can find them. The vintage ones, they're just amazing. Their colors are amazing. Obviously they're cozy and great, but I just love the way they look, folded up, stacked on top of each other, on an old chair. I actually have if you can picture it, it's a chair in our living room that, again, I found in a thrift store, obviously, right? That's just my jam. But it's like a wood back chair, but then like the seat is like, it's like wicker, I'm trying to picture it right now. It's like wicker, right? It looks like a basket almost. But sometimes I will stack up, plaid wool blankets just on that. It just kind of gives that whole fall vibe, football season, look easily. And you may have some of those. Maybe your grandma has some of those. Maybe your mom has some of those that she doesn't get out. Grab them because they're amazing. They're obviously, their function. They can function for you and your family. You can use them obviously, but they just look great. Or if you've ever watched me decorate the hutch in our living room on Instagram or Facebook, it's a glass front hutch, folded plaid blankets in there. Look, in something like that where you can see it when the doors are shut is also another great way to decorate them and kind of highlight them. So definitely look out for baskets, plaid throws, and blankets. I just kind of threw in there too. So that's definitely something else to look for. Those are harder to find. You will find them at estate sales and antique stores for sure. And then your stores like Home Goods and TJ Maxx, they have a ton of beautiful options for throw blankets that are plaid, and they're not the vintage ones, of course, but they're usually at a good price point. And I always this time of year, then through winter, it's like that section just calls my name. There's so many beautiful options there. So you can definitely find them there. Okay, another thing you should pick up at thrift stores for fall are fall stems. So when I say stems, I'm talking about, not greenery really, but like just any floral, faux floral things. It may be a wreath. It could be, actual stems, cotton stems. I find those at thrift stores now all the time. I recently found these. Everybody, when I was sharing my thrifting haul on Facebook Live, I was like, what are these? And they kept telling me they were, oh my goodness, what are those things called? Artichokes. Like dried artichokes. And I'm like, well, they kind of look like that. And I actually have a picture of them in this blog post that I wrote about this, that I'll link in the show notes, but I don't think so. I was looking up faux artichokes, and most of them are green. These are totally brown. They're really cool. I actually have them right now in a huge glass jar in the hutch that I was talking about, but they look like artichokes, but on the bottom part, you'll have to check them out and let me know what you think they are. But anyway, so anything like that, if there's like a fall flowers or like these, I'm going to call them a dried artichoke. I don't know. So just check out the fall, the stems area, the flower area, the wreath area in your thrift stores, and look for those kinds of things that you can bring into your house. Obviously, go to your backyard. Do you have wherever you can cut, or branches are on the ground or whatever. There's a ton of stuff out in your backyard. We have hydrangea bushes in our yard that when they dry and stuff, I will bring them in the fall too. But if you're in a thrift store, always check that section. Candles and candlestick holders. So those are two separate ones that I added. There is just something about, now, if you can find the faux candlesticks and candles, I actually scored the biggest bag of, flameless candles. You put the battery in them, and it came with the remote and everything at a thrift store. There were so many in there. I was like handing them out and getting rid of some of them. And I see those a lot in thrift stores. Now, the one thing I want to start finding in thrift stores, because they are a little bit more expensive, and I do have some, I did find a good source for them, are the tapered candlesticks that are the flameless ones that you put the batteries in. If you find those, grab them, because they are more expensive than kind of your normal candles, like a pillar candle are. But so if you find those, definitely pick them up. But I always, and I love just the look of candles, like the real candles. And they're just not something, especially that, especially the like the tapered tall candlesticks. I'm not going to just light those and then walk away in our home, but I love the look. I was doing I can't remember if I was doing a home tour or just like a Christmas kind of night tour on Instagram. And so I was filming, I lit the real candles that we had on the mantle. And I just stood there and I was filming it. And there's that glow. They are just so pretty. Brass candlesticks, old vintage brass candlesticks at the holidays and during the fall. I'm telling you, they're so pretty, and you can find them all the time at your thrift stores. I have found some amazing wood, like chunky wood candlestick holders as well in the thrift store. So just keep your eye out for candles and candlestick holders. The fall, it just adds that cozy vibe. If the flameless or real, whatever you prefer, it just adds a cozy feeling during the fall and the winter months. Brass. It's so funny. My mom has always said, once what goes around comes around, and what was once, in style comes back. And she said that a lot, like with our clothes and stuff. And she would just laugh about like just different styles that were coming back. And then it's the same thing with home, obviously, home decor. I grew up with, my mom had brass in our house. Like we had, just different accents around the house. And now when I'm at a thrift store, I'm like, oh my gosh, we so had that on the end table. Or so I definitely am drawn to metals. I love like a a tarnished brass or like the tarnished silver. I just love that look. And so those are great things, especially the brass, just because it's a warmer tone to add to your home in different ways during the fall. And you can find all kinds of brass accents, brass vases, brass bowls, brass candlestick holders. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's just so much right now in thrift stores. So definitely keep your eye out for that. Faux pumpkins and gourds and those kinds of things. Right now, the thrift stores are full of Halloween and fall decor. So it's a great time to pick up those things on the cheap. They usually put them in like bags, a bunch of them for a price. And I know thrift stores, they're just like everything else. They are going up in price, but and there's a lot of things that the prices are just not what I'm going to pay. So obviously I don't buy them, but 8 times out of 10, the prices are usually a lot cheaper than what you're going to buy in store. So, what else here? I just talked about plaid throws and blankets. Okay. Wood vases. So that's something I kind of pick up, all year round, but there's something about, so these items that I'm talking about, like baskets, I will pick up all year round. Wood vases, I will pick up all year round. Candlesticks and those things, I will pick them up all year round. Usually the brass candlesticks and stuff, but I don't like bring those out until fall and Christmas. Like a wood vase or like a basket, I can use it all year round. But when you've got them, like wood vases, and you kind of put a collection together. So let's say you've just had them out all year round, but then in the fall, you bring those items kind of together and it looks like you have a collection. It just kind of makes more of a statement. Again, they're a warm tone. They kind of, depending on how they're made, they might have a lot of texture. It's just a good thing to kind of bring together and add to your home during the fall. Wood bowls, same thing. So again, all year round, I will look for them, but then when you kind of bring them together and, you've got a big wood bowl on your counter or on your dining room table, and then you're filling them with pears and fall, fruit, those kinds of things during fall. It just kind of It's just kind of a vibe. It does not have to mean that you have to hang pumpkins and gourds and things from your chandeliers in your home. It's just changing things up and just the way that you kind of present things or put them together in your home that just makes it feel a little more cozy, a little more, warm for the fall season. So, and adding fall fruit and things to wood bowls, adding fall, stems and those kinds of things to baskets you may already have. It just kind of gives it a little bit more cozier vibe for the most amazing season of all. Copper decor, that's another kind of staple. I love to use copper during the fall. And you can find copper a lot in the thrift stores. I just recently, I would say probably 2 months ago, the most amazing French copper strainer pot. I actually sold it on my Instagram shop page, but I mean, unbelievable piece. So you definitely, copper is another thing. And another thing that I like to I kind of pick up all year or at estate sales and stuff, oh my goodness, I don't know how to sew, and I'm gonna butcher this, but it's not crochet, is it? Oh my God. Knitting, crocheting, those kind of blankets. You know what I mean? I kind of love, if I ever find a cream handmade blanket, or throw, I grab them. And because that's I just love that color during the fall. And it just adds that bit of cozy. And it's just again, I kind of set them, I bring them out during the fall months and kind of put them, over the arm of the chair or on the back of the sofa or in a basket on the floor. I kind of fill them with those kind of cream colored handmade blankets for the fall. It just adds a little, it's not oh my gosh, this is fall pumpkins and, witches and all of that. It doesn't scream at you that it's, you're decorated for fall, but yet you get that cozy vibe when you come into the house. Talking about witches and all of that, I used to decorate for Halloween when the kids were little. And this year I really kind of had an inkling to do it. I haven't done it, but I'm I just kind of have that. I don't know. I just kind of felt like I wanted to kind of get into it and, just kind of decorate for Halloween, but I'm not going to do it. I have not had the inkling for years. I mean, the kids haven't been trick-or-treating or anything we used to have Halloween at our house every year. So where my sister lives, you can't go trick-or-treating. And so they would come to our house. And so I would make a meal before the kids would go out trick-or-treating. My parents would come, my sister would come, and then we would take the kids out trick-or-treating around the neighborhood. And so it was always a fun time, and I had everything decorated, and I got to, make Halloween themed food. And, I love that stuff. I've always loved that stuff. When the kids would go to in elementary school, they, during Halloween or whatever, I loved putting little, the classmate gifts and things together, just goodie bags. And I love everything about that stuff. And so our kids are too old. And so I miss a lot of that. Just doing those kinds of things. That's just, it's fun for me. But, so this year I was I can't remember what it was, but it was kind of I kind of want to set up I think it was, I saw some, what are they called? Beakers and test tube. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those glass test tube things and beakers and stuff. It was at a thrift store, and I'm this would be so cool to set up kind of a station for Halloween. And so I think I don't know. I will probably do it again here. Maybe next year I will do it. I'll make Gabrielle get all her friends together or something, make an excuse to put some stuff together. But anyway, so those are the things that you should definitely be looking for at a thrift store, and all year round, look for this stuff. So I am shopping for, so right now we're in fall. So if I saw something for spring at the thrift store, I would pick it up. In the summer, if there's some Christmas decor they have out that I like, I pick it up. So definitely it's something you look for all year round. And then you just kind of you curate this kind of look and feel, and you have these things that a lot of these things you can use all year round, which I love. I am not somebody that will buy a bunch of holiday or seasonal decor, except for Christmas. Obviously that's different, but I don't want, 16 tubs of fall decor, packed away. No, I'm more of I don't keep a lot of things. And if I don't use it or don't love it every year, I get rid of it. But definitely these things where you can kind of bring them together when when the fall season comes around, and it just, like I said, just kind of gives that different feel and just kind of that cozier vibe in your home for the season. So easy stuff that you can do. I've shared a lot of videos of me putting things together for like fall that are on my YouTube channel that you can check out. But yeah, so okay, that's it for this one. I will be talking to you guys very soon. I hope you have a great day and get your home, kind of put things together to welcome fall and like embrace this season. I would love to know if it's your favorite season or if you are somebody that likes to hang on to summer. I know what comes after fall. People will tell me, fall is great, but what comes after is the worst. And I get it. I do not want winter. I'm not a winter person, but fall definitely is my jam. So, okay, guys, I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.